Hey guys! So we are here. I'm Cara, this is Jared, and we are here to give you tips to help you save your sanity during club quarantine.
Club quarantine.
So, one of the things that we want to talk about today is our sleep and our
Mhm.
schedule
Yep.
because those things are like major important right now.
Mhm.
Like, okay, we gave you guys 3 weeks. We all had 3 weeks, and those first 3 weeks we were just in survival mode.
Right.
Okay, so it was just like do what you can,
Right.
save yourselves,
Right.
save your kids, and just basically survive,
Mhm.
right? But now we need to get a routine going. We need to
Yeah.
get our schedules up and going because it's just so important that we take time to make sure that we have the time to do the things that
Right.
are important for us. So like self-care. You cannot
Mhm.
even begin to do self-care if you are running from the beginning to the end of the day.
Right.
And if your kids don't have a bedtime or if they have a
Yeah.
very late bedtime,
Yeah.
then you're not going to get time for yourself and you're definitely not even going to
Mhm.
have time for each other.
Yeah.
So two things that are important is that one, during this time, it's very important that each person has their own time
Right.
for themselves.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, after I've been with the kids doing homeschool, I need time to unwind. I need time to unplug, to de stress. And that
Mhm.
may look different for everybody,
Mhm.
but I need that time. And Jared needs that time
Right.
because he's still working.
Right.
He's still seeing patients. He's still, exerting a lot of emotional and mental energy
Mhm.
and fatigue just during the day. So he needs time to unplug.
Mhm.
And then we need time to reconnect after that.
Right.
And we cannot do that if our kids are up
Right.
till 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
And so the first thing I would recommend is get a schedule. Okay, so for the last 3 weeks, we had no schedule.
Right.
But this week, we are making sure that there is a specific bedtime. If there is nothing else on your schedule, you need to have bedtime for your children on that schedule.
Right.
And it cannot be 15 minutes before you go to bed.
Right.
That is not okay.
Right.
So the kids need their sleep and they need to be able to function as well as you need to function.
Mhm.
But in order to give yourself that time and space, you need to send those kids to bed at the appropriate time. They're still in school, and this is not an extended vacation, even though it kind of feels very chaotic.
Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah.
But it's not an extended vacation, and
Mhm.
so we kind of need to kind of get out of vacation mode a little bit, and stop with the we're like binge watching TV and binge watching a lot of family movies and that kind of thing, and that's really fun, but it needs to like have an end time.
Right.
And so that's just for your own,
Mental health.
yeah, your own protection, really.
Mhm.
Like we need to set boundaries with our time, and we also need to set boundaries with our kids.
Right.
And it's important that they continue to maintain their bedtime even though this is like a very unusual and crazy circumstance
Right.
that we're in.
Right.
So Jared is gonna talk about sleep and the importance of sleep and all the fun things about that.
Right. Yeah, and coming off of your point about the scheduling stuff, sleep ties in directly for that. And even with kids, we know that when kids don't get enough sleep, they don't learn the way they need to. They're more irritable during the day. They're
Oh
more
yes.
hyperactive during the day.
Oh yes.
So that makes everything more difficult for everybody. And
Yes.
oftentimes we recognize the need for sleep in kids, but oftentimes we don't recognize the need for it in ourselves and the need for our to protect our mental health. We actually have to get enough sleep. When people don't get enough sleep, I see with my own clients when they don't get enough sleep, oftentimes their mental health just goes down quickly. They start to get more sad and more anxious and irritable. And your spouses oftentimes are the first ones to recognize the irritability that starts to show up. And so, therefore, critical is like sleep is like a critical thing. It's like almost like a form of medicine that
It
you're putting
is.
into your body.
It is.
And it's
I think that's a good way to look at it as a form of medicine that we
exactly.
can't do without.
Exactly. So people oftentimes emphasize nutrition and exercise very important, but sleep is just as critical.
Yeah.
And so when you don't get enough sleep, what tends to happen is that one bad night's sleep, okay, you can survive. But once you start to build that up, you get into a part where you start to develop a sleep debt. And when you develop a sleep debt, it's all sorts of problems you start to have. You start to really go down you're really snappy with your significant other, you know.
That's me, yes. I turn into Dragon Lady.
You
Yes.
know, and in this time with the lack of structure because of lack of school and as everybody being stuck at home,
Yeah.
it's very easy for sleep schedules to get us go crazy. But honest truth is that this is our new normal. You know, the quarantine and everything that's going on is our new normal, at least for the next month, probably next 2 months. And so we have to figure out a way to get back into a healthy rhythm that won't be the same rhythm that you had before all of this was happening, but you have to have a rhythm that's healthy. And so sleep is a critical kind of center point of getting that rhythm going in the right direction. So we got to get enough sleep for adults, usually at least 8 hours. Some people can get away with 7, but if you're getting below that, you're fooling yourself if you think that you're going to be okay, because after a while it's going to catch up on you. You're going to be really, really, struggling.
I am living testimony of the struggle.
Right.
Okay, I am the epitome of the struggle of someone who doesn't consistently get enough sleep, and that often leads to just not feeling like I am able to function and not feeling like I'm able to have the mental or emotional capacity to just deal with normal day-to-day challenges. And so that's what sleep deprivation does to me. It makes me feel very irritable, easily overwhelmed, easily annoyed. No, I don't want to look at you play. I don't want to, you know, read a book. I don't want to do any of these things when it comes to the kids and stuff like that. So for me, like I really do see like when I don't get enough sleep, how it just affects just my ability to just function and to be human. Okay. So I know that that's important, and I know that especially in these times, like kids have been staying up like extra late. Whether it's watching TV or playing games and stuff like that. And again, like that is fun, but we also do need to set boundaries for our time and for the kids, you know, so that we could then have our time, because we will never be able to have our time if we literally have a full day of non-stop movement until we go to bed. Like that's just not gonna work.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. I mean, it's one of those things where if you were on vacation or something, you could do
Right.
that. And
Yeah,
you'd be
because
fine.
vacation is a week, usually.
You know, you'd be fine and you'd be extra tired by the end of the week, and then you get back to normal. But our new normal is kind of crazy right now, so we have to restore some order to it. So schedule, sleep, get those right. That's gonna help a lot in terms of making sure that you're okay and that you as a couple, you guys are doing okay, because if you guys aren't doing okay, then the whole thing falls down.
Exactly. So send those kids to bed, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.